Alright, we're back, and now we're taking on Rainy Turtleloid. And right off the bat, I love the music in this stage. It's so you know, funky, groovy, it's so relaxing. Yeah, and I want to take this time to apologize because in my original X playthrough, I lost the footage for this part, so that's why it's missing, so I could not make it up, unfortunately. I'll see if I can make it up in a future video, but honestly, do you really want to see me suffer through that? Yeah, so we're taking on Rainy Turtleloid now, and yes, we got the Nightmare Effect. Haha, I know, you all love it. No, seriously, fuck this stage with the Nightmare Effect. This stage is a real atrocity with the Nightmare Effect on because you're losing health because of the Acid Rain. That alone as a gimmick is already a pain in the ass already. But you also have to turn on. You also have to destroy these jewels to shut off the generator that's producing the Acid Rain. And then of course you got these giant mook enemies that are in our way, and of course there's hostages to rescue. And because it's so dark, you can't even see the damn hostages. For all I know, you could an enemy could easily latch onto a hostage. You wouldn't even know it until it's too late. Because by the time you get the stage done and you check your hostage count, it could all be you could lose like maybe 1 or 2 hostages. And if they had an important part, guess what? You have to reset the game and reload the save file. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and this part right here is not too difficult. Here you get so many cheap enemies. Like seriously, what the hell? Yeah, so of course you got this area right here. You have one cheaply placed hostage right here. You get and you need 0 to get this hostage. You can get it as X if you want to die. 0 could actually get it with a double jump and nice precision, like precision timing, like I did right there. I believe for X, you can get it with the ultimate armor, and that's another thing. If you're gonna play X6, please, for the love of God, play this game. If you're playing this game as X, please enter the code to play as X with the ultimate armor. And the code is easy to enter. It's not even funny. Capcom, it's almost like they intended you to use this armor. And for 0, play the game with Black Armor 0. Yes, I understand that it is a cheat code, but this game cheats, you have to cheat back. And I'm being brutally honest here because look at all this they're throwing at you, and this is just on normal mode. If you really hate yourself, you really want a tougher challenge, play this game on extreme mode. And speaking of that, actually playing X6 on easy mode, I find the game more difficult playing this game on easy mode because the problem is that you have 1 or 2 enemies that won't spawn, and in this game, to collect everything, you have to have certain enemies appear at a certain point so you can get certain upgrades. Like right there, you have the light capsule, but you have to damage boost a total of 2 times. The light capsule is on the other end right there, but I can't get it, and I died because of that. Yeah, there is an upgrade you could get. It's called the I think it's the D barrier, I believe that's what it's called, where if you get hit, your invincibility frames last twice as long, so you can damage boost off that way. I think that's the only way you could get it, or if you have the blade armor as X, just air dash quickly. That's gonna be the only way to get it. And you know what the stupid thing is? That part is for the shadow armor. You're basically going through an area of spikes for the shadow armor. What sense does that make? Like, don't I need the shadow armor to get the part for like the blade armor? Like, what sense does that make? It's ridiculous. Like, that's terrible logic right there, Capcom. Alright, got the heart piece there, and I had to die there. Oh well, because there's no way out of there. Seriously, like, X6, the backtracking is not as cryptic as X5, thankfully. You don't need dumb armor parts to get everything, but you are going to get so many deaths. But that's why every time you rescue a Reploid, they give you a free 1-up. But that's bad design, honestly. So now we already got basically everything we need. There's another hostage right there. I'm going to rescue her. And I'm going to die again. Seriously, man. We don't get paid enough to rescue these Reploids. 0, man. You should be getting a raise for doing all this work. In fact, 0 shouldn't even be in this game at all. Apparently, this was, X5 was supposed to be the final game in the franchise, but knowing Capcom, they wanted to get X6 out, and the game was released not even a full year before X5 was even out. Like, X6, I do enjoy it. I mean, it plays just like X5, so I do like that gameplay style. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I do find X6 more enjoyable than X7, but not by much. Well, that's not saying a whole lot. But at the same time, you know, X7, I understand how many people like the 3D aesthetics. The game runs slow because of the 3D environments, and the 2D sections just feel so off. But I really don't have a problem with it. X6 really is not really that bad. It's a playable game at least. That's more than I could say for other certain terrible games. Like when I hear reports of people saying, "Oh, Shadow the Hedgehog is a terrible game," Shadow the Hedgehog is a playable game. That's more than I could say for Sonic 06. Sonic 06 has it's a broken, buggy game that never got patched, and yet people want to defend that game, and yet Shadow the Hedgehog gets crucified. Give me a break. Like, seriously? We're still on this? And we're already at the boss. Yeah, man, I will ramble here and there whenever I find things to be a little bit boring on the stage because we're doing the same thing, or if I die too many times because I'm a little bit flustered. But oh well. And I would take on Rainy Turtleloid. And the thing I like about X6 the most is the bosses actually have some unique backstory. Some of them are loyal to Gate because Gate helped them out and they want to return the favor, and I understand that. So they're not all truly bad guys. Yeah, so this fight right here, I'm using the dash cancel trick. Get rid of those jewels right there and spam the Z-Saber as quickly as I can. And I'm doing a very terrible job at this. Look at this, I'm living on a prayer right now. I already lost a lot of my health. Come on, get that jewel out. Alright, I'll spam the Z-Saber like this. Just imagine if I had Shield Sheldon's weapon, I could have zapped at least one third of his health just with one slash of the Z-Saber, but he's already dead already. Yeah, so if you're normally if you're playing this game as X, I would take on Rainy Turtleloids second because you don't have to deal with the Nightmare effect and you have the ultimate armor. Just spam the Nova Strike for the win. But for Zero, we took care of Turtleloid easily. And yeah, that's cool. Later. Alright, now we're taking on Shield Sheldon, and I love the music in this stage. X6, it really has a really good soundtrack for this game. Yeah, that's another thing about all these terrible games that end with the word 6. They always have the best soundtrack in the franchise. Megaman X6, Sonic 06, I'm sensing a pattern here. Was Superman 64 the sixth game in the entry lineup? Just curious, because that game is by far the worst game of all time. I don't even consider Big Rigs over the race game even the worst game because it was more of a PC game that never got compared to Superman 64, so it really doesn't count on my end. But I understand everybody's frustration towards that game. Yeah, so Shield Sheldon, we got the Nightmare effect, which we get the dragonflies following us. I don't mind it too much because normally you would get all these indestructible boxes in our way if you were going after Ground Scaravage, but I manipulated the Nightmare system a little bit so it could just work in my favor. Because we're just going to the boss fight and that's it. So this is the shortest stage in the game. So we're just connecting the dots here and there. It's basically a callback through a Squid Adler stage. You just gotta connect pieces with laser beams instead of you doing it manually, pushing the electric orbs, which was kind of a dumb gimmick. It was boring and tedious, but we're already at the boss, thankfully. Yeah, so Shield Sheldon, who's very loyal to Gate, you know, he gives us a good explanation why he's doing this. He's similar to Armored Armadillo, like these shield enemies, you know, they're willing to, you know, they're loyal to, you know, their to who they work for. You gotta at least commend them for that. They're loyal because in today's world, you know, loyalty means something, right? It has to mean something, or else what are we fighting for? Alright, so Shield Sheldon could be a little tricky here and there, but, you know, we have Zero, we have the Z-Saber, we should be fine. And he's already dead. Yeah, so don't let these Mavericks fool you. Just because they have small health doesn't mean it's going to be a pushover. Like, they are tough. So don't think just because their health is low, even at level 4 or whatever, don't think you're going to have an easy ride. Alright, but that's the end of Shield Sheldon. Put him out of our misery. Alright, see you later.